Welcome back to the channel. Let's get another anime deck profile in here. Let's get Seto Kaiba.
Alright guys, we got Kaiba's deck now. We had Yugi's deck last week, and I felt that this is a nice enough change of pace that I'm going to keep this going either until I run out of decks or you guys don't want to see this anymore. So, you run one Obelisk, the Tormentor. Now, you're going to see one thing, right? He lost this card to Yugi in the Battle City Finals, and then you're going to see cards from the movie where he didn't have Obelisk. Technically, he summoned him from the ground. Whatever, that doesn't count. What I'm trying to say is, like, I'm trying to make the best Kaiba deck possible to make an interactive duel with your opponent fun. So, they're going to have Obelisk because it's just so fun to summon him, and he's so iconic, just so powerful. And so, he was so linked with Kaiba that I don't care that he lost him. The whole point is, like, let's make the best possible Yugi deck, the best possible Kaiba deck with all the allowed cards in the card pool. So I felt that Obelisk definitely deserved to be in Kaiba's deck, and yeah, untargetable 4,000 monster, that's a trump card if I ever saw one. Then you run triple starter deck Kaiba, Blueeyes, White Dragons. You can't run any less. If we keep in mind the rules of this format, effect monsters are at 2, normal monsters are all at 3, spells and traps are all at 1, and one spell or trap can be at 2. Your most iconic usually. Blueeyes White Dragon, he's a normal monster, so he could be at 3, but even then, even without it, he was summoned so many times at 3 that you know he has 3, so definitely you want to run 3 because that's a dedicated Kaiba deck. You run 1, Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. This card is, really, really strong. Even with the errata, its effect actually goes off surprisingly, like, often enough. Even the turn you summon it, it's cool. Like, you summon it because, like, you might top deck into it or just whatever, and you had it, you're holding it in your hand. You banish a light and a dark, which Kaiba has a lot of, both, and blow out your opponent. And then you get into a top decking war, and your monsters are like 1900 beaters, so like, or you could just use him at 3000 beater without using his effect, so it's very strong. And as far as why I wouldn't have Envoy of the Beginning in Yugi's deck, I wanted to put him in, but Kaiba actually summoned this, while Envoy of the Beginning, theoretically he should have been in Yugi's deck at the same time, since this came out in the same set, in Invasion of Chaos, and around that time Yugi should definitely have even Demok and Blackluster Soldier, but he really didn't summon Blackluster Soldier that often, and I felt that, I was like, you know what, let's keep the high level monsters down as much as possible. But in the next, maybe in a revision, I might add Blackluster Soldier into it. But yeah, Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy at the end, bam. Then we get to the only 3 of in the deck, Pet and the Dark Clown. It was confirmed that he had 3. Because in the Pyramid of Light movie, this was his main option. I wanted to run Sagi just for the memes, for the, hey dude, this is legit what he ran, so let's do it. But Petten was like a better version of Sagi in every way. You can just set him and he can block for you for 3 turns. He becomes good tribute fodder. He can't summon if you tribute. Like, if you use him for tribute fodder, he won't summon another Petten, but your opponent really can't get to your life points until they kill 3 of them, which is pretty strong. And this is your main way that you get into Crush Card Virus. So, Pet and the Dark Clown's the only 3 of. Run Kaiba Man. If we look at GX, Kaiba's deck, it was literally Kaiba Man dueling. His name is Kaiba, so there's no way I was not going to include this, especially because Blueeyes White Dragon's at 3 in this deck, and you need ways to get into Blueeyes easily, and this is just normal summon, special Blueeyes from your hand. It's a 2-card combo, if you will, to get a 3000 beater, and it's really strong, so definitely run 2 Kaiba Man. Assault Wyvern becomes almost a second Kaiba Man. When this card destroys an opponent's monster, you can special summon a dragon type monster from your grave or hand. So you can tutor out your Blueeyes, reborn it from the grave, whichever, and it's 1800 beaters, so it's really strong, and it was used in the movie. The movie had really good cards, so I'm trying to, I don't want to be all movie cards, but Assault Wyvern is one I definitely wanted to run. Blade Knight was so iconic. He has really good effects. He can stop face down effects. He can become 2000 if you have less than 1 card in your hand, or 1 or less cards in your hand. So just a really strong beater that's iconic to Kaiba. Kaiser Seahorse. This card's just more ways to get into Blueeyes. Really, really strong. two enraged battle ox. You run him because he pierces, so he directly opposes Yugi's strategy by Marshmallow, Marshmacron. It doesn't matter; they can't be destroyed by battle. It's basically like you're attacking directly every time with enraged battle ox. And I felt that Kaiba used battle ox enough that it warranted an inclusion. And then his number one guy from Battle City and on, Vorse Raider. I wanted to include Seto. I wanted to bump this up to 3, but I felt that there was just other cards I wanted to run like Kaiba Man, so I cut this down to 2. But 1900 beater is nothing to sneeze at. And then double Kaiser Vorse Raider. So this guy's a free special summon, which is strong. And then he can boost himself up. He can weaken anything that destroys it. And it's just really, really good overall. And this is another movie card. Now we get into the spells of Kaiba's deck. You run 1 Monster Reborn, because every single deck in the anime ran it. You run 1 Silent Doom. This card's not that good without being able to go really extra deck heavy, but it's good to get tribute fodder. Special summons a normal monster from the graveyard, so you get Blueeyes. And yeah, he might not be able to attack, but Blueeyes is 2500 defense, or just, next turn switching him to attack and just protecting you is pretty good in its own right. 1 Fiend Sanctuary. He never used it technically, but he had it in his deck. He gave it to Yugi, and he would have used it against America in the finals. So, Fiend Sanctuary definitely, and it's a good way to get an obelisk. 1 Fang of Critias. This was his legendary dragon in the Waking the Dragons arc, so it's auto include. 1 Heavy Storm, because he used it, I forget which episode, but he did use it. 1 Pot of Greed, because draw power, duh. And then 1 Polymerization. So Polymerization is trash, but you have to be able to summon Blueeyes Ultimate Dragon because he played it so many times. And I felt that this is like the Dark Magician Girl of this deck. You have to run Poly because, dude, he played Blueeyes Ultimate Dragon. After he played it the first time, he almost played it in every single duel from then on. 1 Soul Exchange. This is definitely one of Kaiba's staples. 1 Graceful Charity. Definitely a staple from Kaiba deck and good consistency card. 1 MST because he used it and it's good. It's just one of the best cards ever made. 1 Shrink. It's actually very powerful in this kind of format because you can adjust attacks, and since your guys are really high strong beaters, you can take out opponents' tribute summon monsters real easily. 1 Enemy Controller because, left, right, up, A, B. And 1 Megamorph, he used in the movie, and boosting up a Blue-Eyes White Dragon to 6,000 is a big time. So yeah. So that's all the spells for Kaiba's deck. Moving on to the traps. Kaiba didn't run too many traps, and the traps he did run were kind of shit. But I gave him, his iconic trap was Ring of Destruction. I could have had Crush Card Virus, but because it was errated, and because it requires a weak Dark Monster, Kaiba's deck doesn't run that many weak Dark Monsters, it only runs Petin. And you could get to him eventually, but Kaiba's thing was I have to go real early and destroy my opponent's deck with Crush Card. So I felt that Ring of Destruction was a better option, especially because with Fang of Critias, you'll see, I'll explain it later, but Ring of Destruction is a better card overall, better in more situations, so I felt that this was his iconic card. Then 1 Crush Card. I had it at 2 for a second when I was testing, messing around, but it's just so inconsistent without Petin. So you have 1 Crush Card, you had 2, you had 1 Crush Card with 1 Fang of Critias and 3 Petins, and it wasn't consistent enough. And I just felt Ring of Destruction was, you needed more answers to Yugi's deck, because Yugi's deck is actually really good. 1 Shadow Spell, it's a better Spellbinding Circle, and then 1 Negate Attack, because it's just a decent trap card. There was nothing else I felt like running. So that's it for Kaiba's main deck. Let's go into his extra deck, which is really simple. That's why I love this anime format. 1 Blue-Eyes Ultimate Dragon for the memes, or actually because you have to. 1 Neo Blue-Eyes from the movie, but another Neo Blue-Eyes, there are 2, so you definitely run 2. You run 2 of this guy because he can Foolish, basically 1 when he attacks, and then he kind of protects himself. 1 Doom Virus Dragon and 1 Destruction Dragon. So these are the Fang of Critias options. I didn't want to run Tyrant Dragon because, or Tyrant Burst Dragon, whichever his name is. I didn't feel like he was good enough because Tyrant Wing is kind of trash. But Doom Virus Dragon is phenomenal, and you have Crush Card. And then it was basically do I even run Destruction Dragon? We know Kaiba had Ring of Destruction. We know he had Fang of Critias at the same time. We know he would have summoned this in the show had he gotten the opportunity. Or if, whoever wrote it, Kazuki Takahashi or whatever, had thought of it. So definitely thought that this was an auto include. This is like the only controversial pick, but because I'm trying to stay to cards that they actually used. But he had Ring of Destruction. He had Finger Critias. He would have used this, like, for a fact. So that's it for Kaiba's deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Give your man some love. And then I'll know that, hey, you want me to keep doing this. Oh my gosh. But yeah, guys, thanks for the support. Mad love for everything. I'll keep doing this. Hopefully fucking Konami makes a better ban list next time so I can update more decks. But I think I can update them just regardless. But yeah, hope you guys like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.